Let's take a look at some of the analytical features of the Materials Management Engine. Some of those features are tucked away in the Analysis section of the main menu, and to get there I'll simply expand the Analysis section. Let's start with the Stock Explorer. Now this is where I really start to enjoy the system, because this is where the fruit of all your labors really start to come together. To point, all the videos we've looked at have really been setup elements, how to use and configure and monitor the system. Now it's where we really start to dive in and analyze trends, which items are moving quickly, which products are priced too high, where are my trends, and this is where it really starts to show its value and become really useful to a company. The Stock Explorer is designed to show you of all the stock that you have in the system, more information about it. Where is it located? What status is it in? What are our costs and those types of things? So in this case, I've got a very simple example. This is the demo that comes with the system. There are several things I can do. One is I can change the type of graph by simply moving down below and looking at that. Now, in some cases, some of these graphs won't make a lot of sense based on the type that they are, but we'll look at more about that in a moment. Let's go back to the column graph. At the top, the two halves of the screen are working in harmony. So for example, as I move between the items in the top, the items in the bottom will move accordingly. So in this case, I've got 10 per page, which I could change if I'd like to. Here are the 10 items that I'm seeing down below. So the top half of the screen is in lockstep with the bottom half of the screen. In this case, I'm simply saying that aniseed syrup, I've got 632 in stock, which I can easily see by looking at this particular number. But using some of the drag and drop capabilities, I can start to analyze this a little differently. Okay, I've got 632 in stock, that's great, but where are they located? So I could take the location in this example and drag it over into the grid area, and now I'm starting to break that into the different locations. So I could see that in Hong Kong, we've got 169, 112 in San Diego, so I'm starting to get a breakdown. So you can kind of see how you're starting to ask questions of the system by simply dragging and dropping. If I wanted to limit that and say, I could sort that ascending or descending, but let's say I wanted to filter that and say that I only want to see Hong Kong compared to San Diego and apply that. That now limits the set to just those two locations. So now I'm just looking at these items in these two locations. Another thing I could do is, let's just say by status. Maybe I want to see what are the status of those items. So yeah, 632, that's great, but what are those all available to sell or to use? Well, no. I've got 55 that are pending quality inspection. So that number 632 is really one-dimensional. It can be broken into different things. So as you can see, by using these drag and drop capabilities, I can really start to analyze the system in a different way. Another thing I could do is have all three. So show me the inventory, location, and the status. So now I'm saying that within San Diego, here's what I have as far as the types of stock. Within Hong Kong, here are my types of stock. There happens to be 5 of these cranberry sauce pending quality inspection in Hong Kong. Again, not the best example in the world, but I think you get the concept of how that could be applied to the types of items that you stock in your system. Another thing that I'll point out real quickly, and let me make this screen a little simpler so this will make a little more sense. Another neat thing is that as I'm looking at items down below, often there may be some anomalies. I might have one item that's far and away higher. In this case, they're all relatively similar, but sometimes if I've got one item that's very high, these other graph elements down below will get very small. So one thing I could do is there's 2 ways to solve that. One is I can go through my material filter and remove the ones that I want. So let's just say I only want to see these several items together. That's one way of filtering that. So now I'm just seeing those items and I'm getting a better visual representation. Here's San Diego compared to Hong Kong. But let's just say another way of doing the same thing, and I'll quickly put these back so you'll get the idea. I can also do that using the graph down below. So these items along the right, this legend, these items are selectable. So if I wanted to, I noticed that this particular item is sort of an anomaly. This Chef Anton's gumbo mix, it's kind of out of skew. So I can just turn that off selectively. And I can do that through all of these. So another way of kind of achieving the same thing. is by deselecting these items, and I'm kind of getting back to the same information. And I can do that for every particular page or every particular item. So again, it's another neat feature there. Finally, if I'd like to, I can export that to Excel, which I'll do now, kind of show you that, and get that information over into Excel for more analysis if I'd like to. So this gives you a little bit of information about the Stock Explorer.